Look, obviously a few weeks ago when we had Dr. Nguyen, a wonderful advocate for clinicians in Western Sydney of Nepean Hospital, give a detailed account of how the New South Wales health system has worked for 18 months to prepare for that critical mass of patients with COVID. And so part of that plan that she outlined that our experts have been working on included the system being technically overwhelmed in some weeks during October. That means when I say images of things we've not seen before, it means many additional spaces within hospitals dedicated to COVID patients in intensive care, patients perhaps having to be taken to a hospital that might be quite a distance away from where they live, and the like. So they are the type of images, the type of healthcare that we need to brace ourselves for. We are in a pandemic. The worst pressures on our hospital system are expected to be in October, and obviously we're keeping a keen eye on that. Interestingly, the number of people in our hospital system is slightly less than what we thought it would be, but the number of people in intensive care is about what we expected. So we need to be aware of that, and we need to know that come October, there will be weeks when our system will be technically overwhelmed, but the plans are in place. I want to give people the assurance that the plans are in place. They've been worked on for 18 months. But if you hear people say that this has never been done before, or this is being done differently, or see images that don't look like what we normally see, that's because we have to react like that to the pandemic. Ordinarily, we'd have 500 staffed beds in our intensive care unit across the state. For the pandemic, we have 1,550 just to demonstrate the surge capacity, but to demonstrate that the system will literally be having to work triple as hard as what it does in ordinary circumstances. And we also know that in ordinary circumstances, there are pressures on the system every day. We'd hear stories about pressure on the system even without a pandemic. So I just want people to be aware of what's coming up, just want people to be aware of what to expect, and more than ever, to thank our wonderful hospital staff who are bracing themselves, who've been training for this and preparing for this for at least 18 months, but also appreciate that because of them, we can have that assurance that everybody who needs hospital care and intensive care will receive it.
Premier, I'm assuming that with what you're saying this morning, that the permit system for essential workers in West and South West Sydney, you're not going to budge on that until we reach that?
Oh look, that is the only the authorised workers list and the permit system is the only thing which differentiates any part of Greater Sydney and the restrictions. And as you appreciate, our aim is that when we open up at 70%, our case numbers are as low as they can be, so that we can therefore make sure we all move forward together. So that whether you live in Western Sydney or you live anywhere else in the Shire or anywhere else, you'll be able to visit all parts of New South Wales. And that's our aim, to be able to open together. Everybody who is fully vaccinated at 70% will get freedoms. Let me make that very clear. If you have made the effort of getting yourself vaccinated, by the time we open up at 70%, you will be able to go and eat at a cafe, you'll be able to get your hair cut, you'll be able to do all those things we've all missed. But the one issue we have is to make sure that we also provide equal mobility to everybody, and that's why our strategy, which is so far so good, but again, too early to call, is to make sure we get the case numbers as low as possible so that when we open up, everybody can move around as freely as possible, including across the regions.
Premier.